The last roundup, last roundup, last roundup.
Welcome.
Come on.
Hey, whoa. I was going to start the show. Welcome to the Last Roundup Horror Show. I'm Frank. Who else is here? Say your name so people know what your voice sounds like.
Randy, go for it.
Randy.
And Jason, say your
I'm Jason.
That's Jason.
Scott.
Scott, there we go. I just like that for the people that might just listen to this. But up first, we wanted to talk about the top 10 horror villains that we like, our personal favorites, right? You want to go into that?
Yeah, let's do it. Fuck it.
Randy, why don't you go first?
Oh, wow, okay. So I'm just going to read down the list and kind of give a brief overview as to why I think they are. Is that how you want to do it?
That's great.
Okay,
Sure.
cool. So top 10 on my list, starting with 10 and working my way down to 1, okay? So I'm starting with the last, and I'll go to number 1, all right?
Yes.
Top 10, Annie Wilkes from Misery. Now, why did I pick her? Why is she on my list? Just the thought of a woman tying me down and, crippling me over a nice long winter. That's one of my top fears.
She's a lunatic, too. Don't forget that.
Yeah,
she's a lunatic.
Ankles busted up.
That's a rough scene, man. That's a rough scene.
Torments Paul, through the whole thing, like degrades his writing. I can just imagine it. It sounds awful. So she's just very terrorizing, and is one of my favorite Stephen King villains. So.
What's number 9?
Number 9, here we go. Pinhead, Hellraiser. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. Guy's a fucking freak, He's
a weirdo.
He's a weirdo. Number 8 for me, Jack Torrance, The Shining.
That's a good. Well, which one you talking? Jack Nicholson or the dude from Wings?
Jack Nicholson. I'm going with Jack Nicholson, obviously. Well, I know the guy from Wings wasn't terrible. He just was a different version of it. But
yeah,
to me, Jack Nicholson, every time I watch that, he's terrifying. Number 7, Michael Myers, Halloween. He's a murder machine. It's scary. Number 6 for me, I combined 2 for number 6. Freddy and Jason combined together. I would put as a tie for number 6 for me.
Why are you putting them together?
Because that's dumb, Randy. Let me stop you right there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Then I'll just pick Jason. I was just going to go with Jason then, okay? Jason, there. We fixed it. Problem solved. No need for...
Wait a minute. Jason's above?
No,
Freddy?
just Jason. Just Jason. Freddy's off the list. He's gone. Don't worry.
Oh, my God. You threw him right off the list. You threw him off the list completely.
Threw him off the list. Just Jason. He's scary.
No, it's a tie now.
Oh.
Number 5, Hannibal Lecter, Silence of the Lambs. Self-explanatory. Again, he invites you over for dinner, and you don't know if you're eating just a nice meal or if he's cooked people.
Let me just say one thing.
Sure.
I don't like that movie.
Really?
I don't
like
either.
I bought the freaking Criterion Blu-ray. The best edition you could get. Thinking that I'm gonna like it. I didn't like it back when I was 20. I don't like it now. I don't know what it is. It's boring. Like, if you're into, like, detective shows and shit, like, on TV, like, I'm not. So, it's just like a detective movie, really.
I feel the same way.
Yeah. I love it. I've read all the books, too. I love the story of him.
Well, I have the Criterion Blu-ray if you'd like to buy it.
I would like to. Honestly, I don't own any of the Blu-rays. I have them on a drive that I watch. So, yeah.
We'll talk later.
Okay, we'll talk about that. Yeah.
That's one that I don't like that everybody likes. And then what's the other one? Oh, shit. I can't remember. Never mind.
All right. So that was number 5. Number 4 is Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
He's an imposing villain. Scary all around. Number 3 for me, Norman Bates, Psycho. I mean, just again, a crazy psychological murderer.
Yeah. How do you feel about I like the Vince Vaughn movie. A lot of people hate that.
I've always liked it. I don't know why people give it so much shit. It's a true remake. They literally remade it. What's the problem? I don't know. Number 2. Yeah, it's in color. People are, oh my God, they're taking all the artistic criteria out of it by color.
I like Vince Vaughn. I tell you what, Wedding Crashers is one of my favorite comedies.
Let's go.
Oh yeah,
I could watch that movie over and over.
If you watched, I know you said you don't like true or detective stories, but if you watched the HBO show True Detective, Vince Vaughn was in season 2, and he was the best thing about it. He was fantastic. Number 2 for me is the tall man from Phantasm.
Yeah, I got him on my list too. Yeah.
And number 1, coming in at number 1, my number 1 top 10 villains, Linda from Evil Dead 2. You guys didn't see that one coming.
That's out of left field a little bit.
Yeah, she is a nightmare. Can I give an honorable mention too, really quick? Frank, Dennis. It's not you, Frank, but Dennis Hopper, Blue Velvet. Yeah. I consider putting him on the list because every time I watch that movie, he freaks me out. So.
I always think like David Lynch seems like horror, but I don't know if he necessarily is.
That's what I was teetering on it. That one especially is kind of horrific, but
Yeah, I think Eraserhead is. I mean,
yeah,
definitely. Whoa, Jason, what you got?
You want? I'll go. So, I was gonna do this. I was gonna just not do any of the major franchises because I mean that takes up half the list right there. But
yeah,
I wrote down a bunch of them. I wrote down 30, and then I got them down to 20, and then I got it down to 10. But then when I got down to 10, I was like, some of these I don't think is in the top 10. But I was done with it. I put too much time in it. So I guess it's just these are just people I want to see more on screen. I want to see them on screen all the time, I guess, is how it ended up coming out. Number 10, Art the Clown. I like his look. I like his demeanor. And he has brutal kills. I like that character. I think it's a good character. Number 9, Drayton Sawyer. He is just in Texas 2, he's amazing. He should have been in the movie more. But that kind of interferes with my number 8 is Chop Top.
Yeah,
Chop Top is one of my favorite characters in any horror movie. Number 7. This is one I was like, I don't think it should be there, but it is what it is. I have Chucky. Killer Doll. I
debated putting him on my list, honestly, too, especially the first 2 movies. Yeah.
But then when I got it made, I was like, I don't think, but he's cool. 1 through 3, I really like. He's funny. Yeah. Got one-liners. He's good. Number 6, Ghostface. Another one. After I made the list, I was like,
oh wow,
because I don't mind that it's different people. You know what I mean? Each movie, I just like seeing that character slash people. I wish. I don't know. I don't think I've seen 4. To be honest.
Oh.
I think I've only seen the first. I've only seen the first 2. I think
it's good.
Yeah,
it's
not
4. 3 was worse than 4.
Yeah, it's to me 4 is right up there with 2.
I don't know. I like Leatherface. I like it. Number 4. It's kind of 2. However you want to consider it, but Pazuzu or Reagan, however you want to look at it.
Right. Exorcist.
Scariest thing I've ever seen in my life, and to this day, it still makes me feel a little weird. You have to remember, I grew up in a Pentecostal church. There twice on Sunday and on Wednesday. So demons was a very real thing to me. So think about what this movie did to me when I was probably 12 and watched this alone in my room.
Oh yeah, for sure. And anything with demons, really.
Yeah. So that's number 4. Number 3, Freddy. Loud, obnoxious, but messes you up. Michael Myers is number 2. He just has that presence that no one else has. Like no other villain has that presence. What are you doing, Ray? Sorry.
He needs more of him in the picture.
Yeah, it was holding. I was holding that camera. I apologize, man. It was starting to fucking drop out of my hand. This way, it's a little pathetic. Okay.
That phone's heavy. He's getting tired. Number 1, Jason Voorhees.
Hey.
I don't even need to say anything. I think he's the greatest villain there is.
Yeah, Scott, did you have a top 10? Did we let you know that was part of this?
Nope, sure didn't. But you know what? I'm improvising.
Oh yeah, here we go.
I just masks. That's pretty much my list. I think Freddy may be on there. It's just the period I was alive and watched it for the first time. I think has more to do with it than the quality of villain. I'm with Jason. Ghostface is on my list because it was just the right time. Probably maybe the first actual horror movie I watched. Pumpkinhead scared the crap out of me.
Pumpkinhead about went on the list.
And even the Leprechaun, as watching it from a kid and being really scared of this murdering leprechaun, if I watched it for the first time as an adult, probably not. But those would be it in no particular order. The tree from Poltergeist as well. I don't know if that's a villain, but you know what?
I'll take it.
Yeah, freaking clown. You could put that damn clown on the list because that gave me
scared of. Oh yeah, with the arms coming out of the bed. Yeah,
didn't let anything hang off the edge of my bed.
Yeah,
my blanket, legs, or arms.
Yeah, and there were trees outside my window that would rattle on the window when it would get stormy. So of course, it's the visual. It's like having Michael Myers standing outside your window with a knife when you're a kid. I also stayed awake worrying about velociraptors, but that is a different thing. Jurassic Park's kind of a horror movie. The original one, before I got a little crazy.
I would say so. Yeah.
It's probably the best. Think about dinosaur horror movies. What's the best one? Really.
Dinosaur.
Did you have any? Is that your list, Scott? What was?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go through mine. Number 10, we got Angus Scrim as the tall man from Phantasm. Then I'm going to put at number 9, Stripe, the Gremlin. I think that's that's one of my favorites.
That's a good pick.
Not Spike from Gremlins 2, Stripe.
It's Stripe, right, in Gremlins 1?
Gremlins 1 is Stripe, yeah.
Yeah. And then we got Tony Todd as Candyman. Robert Englund, Freddy Krueger, of course. Billy Zane as the guy from Demon Knight, huh? The collector or whatever. David Howard Thornton, Art the Clown, of course. I think that's one of the greatest new characters that's come out in a while. Tim Curry as Pennywise.
What number are we on here?
I'm on number 4.
All right.
Number 3, John Jarrett as Mick Taylor from Wolf Creek.
That's a good one. I didn't even think of that one.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Okay. Yeah, the Australian dude.
Yeah.
Head on a stick.
And then coming in at number 2, Bill Moseley as Chop Top from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. And number 1, Doug Jones as the Pale Man from Pan's Labyrinth.
Ooh, that's good with the
hand. The hand. That's a nightmare.
Yeah.
We're here to talk about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the first 4 movies. So let's start out in 1974 with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. A summary for this film: 2 siblings and 3 of their friends en route to visit their grandfather's grave in Texas, end up falling victim to a family of cannibalistic psychopaths and must survive the terrors of Leatherface and his family. Directed by Toby Hooper, or is it Tobe Hooper? Which
Tobe.
one is
Toby.
Tobe.
I always thought it was Tobe.
Tobe.
Whatever you want to say.
It's probably Toby, but he didn't.
Written by Kim Hinkle and Toby Hooper. Jason, do you have any information?
Oh, sure do. Tagline: Who will survive and what will be left of them? Distributed by Bryanston Distributing, and on this has a ton of releases, but I think as of today, the best release is the 40th anniversary from Dark Sky. But here the 4K is coming soon, so I would hold out.
Yeah. So, a little trivia about this movie. According to John Larroquette, his payment for doing the opening narration was a marijuana joint. So, that's fun. The van that they used, the infamous van, was owned by Ted Nicolau, who's the director of Terror Vision and Subspecies. He recorded audio for the movie, so I thought that was kind of cool too. I think that about this movie is the most amazing thing is that there's not very much gore in it, and it's like it went through several cuts to get out of an X rating. And there's not really much gore at all to begin with, but they achieved all this horrifying effect. Yeah, he was setting out for PG-13, but yeah.
You got an X.
Yeah.
I always say, Frank, the first time you showed me this, I literally got sick to my stomach watching it. So.
Yeah, I think it's just the way it's shot. It's just gritty and grungy. Who's your favorite character? I like Franklin a lot, honestly. I love his whining. He makes me laugh the whole fucking time. I like it a lot. He makes me, when he rolls down the hill, when he's spitting and bitching, love it all.
I agree. He's fantastic.
What was the first time you watched this, Jason? How old were you when you watched this?
16.
Yeah.
I know I had my license. I think I watched it at Whitaker's house.
Yeah. VHS days.
Oh, for sure.
Randy, did I let you borrow this or something?
We watched it at your house, man.
Yeah.
You were like, hey, you should check this out, and if you like it, I've got part 2. You can take it home with you. And I was like, all right. And then, like 30 minutes into it, I'm like, what do you got me watching here, man? This is the most disgusting, messed up thing I've ever seen in my life.
Did we watch it in my weird bedroom with my corn posters on the wall and stuff?
Yes, we did.
Yeah. That was the times.
Yeah. But it literally gave me a sense of dread like the first Exorcist movie did. I hadn't felt that way since I was a little kid. It made me uncomfortable. And then I borrowed the part 2 from you and held it for a while before I actually watched it because it messed me up.
Yeah. This movie's soundtrack is really weird too. It's like essential for making the movie what it is, but you wouldn't want to ever own it and listen to it because it's just noise. It's like slaughterhouse noises. It would be terrible. You would be an insane person if you just listen to the soundtrack. It wouldn't make any sense. One of the characters people don't normally talk about in this movie is the guy at the gas station with the bucket and the rag. He does an exceptional job. I just want to say he's underrated. If you know, he was right on top of washing that windshield. It was great. And I noticed something. I've watched this movie a ton of times, but it's COVID-19. We got the virus, guys, right? I noticed that.
What virus? I don't know.
We got the virus going around, and I noticed that Sally uses Franklin's knife to cut up some barbecue after the hitchhiker cuts his hand with it, right? Doesn't he use it to cut his hand? And then Franklin uses it to clean his nails, and then he wipes it on this dirty ass shirt. And then she like cuts up some barbecue with it. I was like,
is that blood? You think that's blood? That could be blood.
Yeah. I think the art director Robert Burns had a lot to do with how this movie turned out, the atmosphere and stuff. He also worked on The Hills Have Eyes, Tourist Trap, Microwave Massacre, The Howling, a ton of shit. Mausoleum, Reanimator.
Microwave Massacre.
But think about just how it looked, not the movie in general. It had a definite look. Yeah. I think this is a perfect horror movie. Really, it's gritty and dark. It almost I think the thing about it is it almost seems like a snuff film by the end of it. It's so crazy. And Jim Sadow, is that how you say his name? The guy that plays Drayton Sawyer. He's just always good. It's a shame he wasn't in more stuff. I also think this is the best Leatherface ever looks. Yeah, it's a 10 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, me too. 10 out of 10, perfect. It's why I think, in my opinion, it's why so many people try to copy it. You know, over the years, that the format of it, it's a perfect horror film.
Yeah, what say you, Jason?
What say me? So I see this question all the time. So what do you guys think? Is this a slasher?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I would say so.
I don't know.
What do you think?
Yeah.
I think so too. I don't even know why there's really a question.
Yeah.
And some of their reasoning is like, well, they come to him. He doesn't stalk and do the cat and mouse. Like, well, yeah, he does do the cat and mouse thing. He does hunt them down. They come to him. So what? He's still like it's still a slasher. I don't know. Anyways,
right.
Iconic movie, iconic figure, Leatherface, big dude wearing freaking skin. I mean, waving a chainsaw around, absolutely terrifying. Cinematography is great. I hear people talk about it all the time, like other cinematographers that will reference this movie, and it just feels great. Like you said, it kind of feels like a snuff film. I mean, I guess that's probably just some of that. I'm like, there's no gore, hardly any blood, but it's one of the most terrifying movies there is. A lot of people are like, only this, like, you watch it once and appreciate it, and then never really want to revisit it again. Like, how many times do you want to?
Have you seen a meat hook in person?
No, I haven't. I don't really.
Well, if you see a meat hook, it's gonna trigger you.
Oh yeah.
The second I seen it, I was like, oh. I just
Frankie,
that penetrating your body. Or being hung up on.
Frank, you talked about Francis being your favorite character.
Yeah,
I never really hated the character so much.
Oh, really?
But it's kind of it's a compliment to him, because like
I think that's the goal. Yeah,
he did a good job. But no, I didn't watch this movie all the way through until I was probably 16. But I did see clips of this movie when I'm gonna guess I was about 10 years old. I have a distant relative. He has Down syndrome. Well, he passed away now, but he had Down syndrome. So he was like, I don't know, I think he was like 35, but had like a mind of an 8-year-old. So in his room, like, he was just all about horror movies and wrestling. And he even had like a walk-in closet that was converted to like a movie room. I remember even seeing this poster on his wall. And like, I'd go down there and watch movies with him, but he had this thing where like he would only watch movies for like 5 minutes at a time and take them out, put another movie. I got to see just like 5-minute clips of this movie when I was young. But then I finally got to watch it. I was scared. Number one, like, I always just felt like at any point he's just going to haul off and punch me right in the face. Like, it was my buddy, you know what I mean? Like, it was weird. But no, I recommend this movie to everyone. 10 out of 10 for me too.
Yeah. Scott, when was the first time you saw this movie?
In my 20s, early 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah. I rented a few classics from the Dunkirk video store, but I was petrified.
Let's take a moment to just remember how great that store was. That was
video. Absolutely.
I used to go up there all the time. That was great.
Smoking.
Yep.
Yes, smoking at the counter. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, fuck. So, what would you get?
Some trivia about it. At least the first one.
Oh yeah. What do you got?
I mean, you've seen it a million times. You know everything about it. So, I mean,
yeah. Well, yeah, probably something. I don't know.
Right. How long did it take to shoot this movie?
6 weeks.
Oh.
8 days.
8 days. Oh man. 8 months.
8 months?
I don't know. I don't know things.
Shoot.
Time frames. Time.
Jason's the closest. Well, I guess actually Randy might be without going over. It had a 2-week shooting schedule and it took 4 weeks.
I'll split it with you, Ray.
A month. A month. What brand of chainsaw did they use? They put tape over the logo, obviously, but what brand?
Benford.
Steel.
Benford sounds right. Something like that.
That's a made-up tool.
It was something with a B.
No.
I read it. I swear. It was something like that.
Polon.
Never heard.
I've had a Polon chainsaw. It was the 245A model, but yeah. That's my brand. Jason at least named a brand, a real brand.
I never had a Polon.
I get the point.
Had a pull off.
I've never had a reason to own or know things about chainsaws, so I guess I'm a loser. So, are we moving on to Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2?
Well, did Scott give his rating?
Oh, what's your rating, Scott?
Out of what?
10. I gave out of 10.
Out of 10?
Yeah.
I think it's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it's inclusive. Throw a steak.
I was an adult when I watched it, and it had the same effect on me. So I didn't, have the experience of watching it as a kid. I'd probably be scarred for life if I did. But 10.
Right on. Well, let's move into 1986 Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Summary for this film: a radio host is victimized by the cannibal family as a former Texas marshal hunts.
Ray, what are you laughing at? Sorry, Randy. Sorry.
Flying. Directed by Tobe Hooper, whatever you want to say. Written by L.M. Kit Carson and Tobe Hooper.
I think it's Tobe.
Tobe Hooper. What do you have, Jason? Information?
Tagline: after a decade of silence, the buzz is back. Distributed by Canon Releasing. Always remember seeing that logo pop up back in the day.
Yeah.
Blu-ray, there's a couple good releases. Arrow and Scream Factory both have this. Can't go wrong with either of those.
I think I have the Arrow Blu-ray.
Do you? Because I've been wanting to pick it up. Because I still have like that screw-headed or something.
Yeah, I think that's the one I got, and that was a while ago. It's the only one of these I own.
Yeah, mine's a real cheap DVD copy, whatever it is. It's got Dennis Hopper on the cover. So this is one of the movies I rented the most back in the VHS days. It was always like this and Redneck Zombies were my go-tos for a while. The soundtrack's great. I want to get this at some point, but it's too expensive. Like on vinyl, it's like $100 or something like that.
Man,
Yeah. The comedy is really good, I think. Dennis Hopper is a lunatic. They give Drayton some great lines. The Saw His Family monologue, that whole thing.
You got one choice, boy. Sex or the saw. Sex is, well, nobody knows. But the saw is family. It's family. Wait till Granddad hears about this. Take her away. She's in the garbage now.
Oh, no.
A one. And a two. And a three.
Mosley and Bill Johnson are great as Chop Top and Leatherface. One of my favorite characters in this movie is LG. He's just a good guy.
This whole movie, has characters, great characters all over.
Yeah.
All over.
Yeah, LG is my favorite. He's just a good guy. He wants to build Stretch a little fry house. I like that. He ends up losing his face and getting really smashed up with a hammer. It's crazy. The whole thing, it's just great. It's campy as hell. There are a lot of great lines in this movie. Dennis Hopper and the battle at the end. It's great. It's just so great. I give it a 10. This is a perfect 10 movie, but in a different way than the first one. The first one's like more of a serious horror film, and this one's a little bit more comedic. It's kind of like the difference between Evil Dead 1 and 2, in vibe, I guess.
That was what was so shocking to me when I watched the second one. After watching it, like the one you showed me, the first one, I'm like, this is a completely different type of movie, you know? It's the same idea, just done completely different. I thought it was brilliant the first time I watched it. I immediately watched it again. That's how much I liked it. I went rewind. Kids don't know what that means.
Rewind.
But yeah, I watched it again. And you're right. Everything about this movie is awesome. From the one-liners, lick my plate, dog dick. I mean, all the way down to the Dennis Hopper battle with the fucking chainsaws. It's just amazing. I perfect 10 for me too. It's another perfect movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of good Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. A lot of them. I like the next one too. Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 from 1990. Summary for this film: a California.
Wait a minute, boy.
What? Oh wait, did we move on? I moved on way too fast.
Yeah. Say nothing.
Sorry, man. Let's stay in the world of. Let's stay where we were. Hold on.
You're literally cutting your host out, man. You're
Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Rewind, like Ray said. Let's go back to Jason. How you doing?
Yeah, so this is way different than the first. This one's silly. It's goofy. Cool settings. The radio station, the amusement park thing that they're in. Great cast, great characters. I mean, across the board. I like the Stretch. I like Hopper. I like LG. All of them. Chop Top is just brilliant. This is one of my favorite characters of all time. Cinematography, it looks great. It's lit well, and it's actually, watching it again, like it's really colorful. Like it's a lot of colors popped out to me this time.
Yeah.
This was my favorite. Texas was just one of my favorite horror movies, period. And I'm going to forever associate with this movie with my teens, because I watched this movie so many times between 16 and 20. Like, this was probably watched at least once a week. I'll give it a 10.
Scott.
What do you think?
It's been a very long time since I've seen it, so I remember bits and pieces. I wasn't able to watch everything, obviously. Only had a couple days, but what I remember of it was pretty good. I can do a little bit more trivia if you want.
Sure. What do you got?
A couple more of them. All right. What was the car from the beginning?
The car from the...
No idea.
I lost the names of the guys, but
Bright lights and big titties. That car.
Was it a Cadillac?
Is this from
I think so. Yeah, there was a
the-
Mercedes.
Oh, okay.
All right, it's not trivia, but Dennis Hopper did think it was the worst movie he was ever in.
Yeah. He also
Until-
said that
did.
Super Mario Brothers. Yeah. I read that.
Then he's like, yeah, that one.
Which, by the way, that movie's good. Fuck you if you don't like it.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, I've
it's
seen
a-
Dennis Hopper in way worse movies than both of those movies. So,
Yeah.
what the fuck is he talking about?
do you have any more trivia, Scott?
Yeah, they're listing everything. It doesn't work as trivia. They're just telling you facts. So they have
Here's
to
a
make it
fact.
into a fucking question.
No.
So are,
No.
are we moving into part 3?
Yeah,
Well,
let's
what's your
go to
rating,
this.
Scott?
Oh, Scott, yes.
For the
Part 2.
more comedic, I guess, aspect of it, I'd have to say 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Oh,
As a horror movie, I don't know.
Jay-
I might go
Jason's,
one lower as a film, but as a horror film, 7 out of 10.
Jason's got a train popping off over there.
Yeah.
It's coming through the dang wall.
Let's move into 1990. Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. Summary for this film: a California couple and survivalist encounter Leatherface and his family. Directed by Jeff Burr, who did Stepfather 2, Pumpkinhead 2, Blood Wings, and Puppet Master 4, Puppet Master 5, and Puppet Master Blitzkrieg Massacre. So, yeah. What do you got, Jason?
Some tales are told and soon forgotten, but a legend is forever. Distributed by New Line Cinema and out on Blu-ray through Warner Archive in 2018.
Yeah, from what I read, this movie should have been like a complete mess. They fired the director, Jeff Burr, and then rehired him after nobody else took the project on. They reshot the ending, allowing both Leatherface and Ken Foree to survive, even though it was Jeff Burr didn't even know they shot that shit. He saw that when they premiered the movie. This is the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre under New Line Cinema, so they were trying to make it kind of have a feel like the Freddy movies. I at least that's what it seemed from what I read. I think this is Viggo Mortensen's best role. I like him the best, even better than the Lord of the Rings, all that. My favorite character in this movie is Alfredo. I love it. Anytime he's rambling to himself, it's just pure gold. I like Ken Foree in this. I think that this is one of his best performances. And they actually make they take that Stretch character, that Caroline Williams, I think her name is, and they put her in other movies, as she's in this movie as a reporter at the beginning. She doesn't say anything. She's just in the scene and then walks off camera. But they throw her in the Hatchet movies too. It's weird. The young girl that's in this movie, I thought that was a cool, weird, creepy touch. She's actually in Friday the 13th, Part 7. Did you recognize her from that? She's the little psychic girl or whatever. And a little trivia here for my side of things. The mama character that's got the voice box, she was married to Clu Gulager. You know who that is? The guy from Return of the Living Dead that plays Bert.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was. They were married, so I thought that was kind of cool. I think that Leatherface looks the worst in this movie. I think he looks so really fucking bad.
Wrong.
You like it? Yeah.
It's one of my notes I do.
He's usually not my favorite character in these movies anyways. I always like the side characters. One of my favorite one of my favorite moments in this movie is when Leatherface makes that guy with the hook stick his hand in the oven to get his Walkman out. It's classic. Overall, I think this is a fun watch. There's some shit I thought is kind of stupid. Like, I think the chainsaw at the end would stop running in the water. I don't think a chainsaw keeps running when it's underwater. It's still a motor, right? Like
Actually, a Benford 5200 will keep running.
This was actually a still that they used in Leatherface. It was a still brand.
Oh, wow.
They, as far as I know, can't work underwater.
Yeah, it seemed like bunk. But also how the Ken Foree was just fucking fine and pulls up in a truck. That was kind of stupid. I think if we would have saw the original cut of this movie, because they cut off like a half an hour just to try to keep it from being NC-17. I think if we would have saw the uncut version, it might have been a little better. 8 out of 10 is what I give that, though. What say you, Jason?
Yeah, so 90s slasher. And I tried to watch this with not comparing it to we've done talked about them. In my opinion, the first two are both 10. So I've always liked the movie, but I kind of like judged it harder, I think, because the first two are so good. Like, you're kind of set up to fail. Like, I don't know, you pull off that, a classic 3 times in a row. Like, I don't know if that's been done. Maybe even that.
I forgot to mention, this movie has one of the best lines out of a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie where Ken Foree says, "Why are you doing this?" And he says, "We're hungry." Or whatever. And he says, "Haven't you heard of pizza?" or whatever. It's great.
So in this one, I was always confused with the timeline of this one and the continuity. But then I figured out the New Line. This is New Line Cinema's first time, and they were basically rebooting the series. They talked about it like Freddy was like not doing good at the box office, so they were looking for something else. But a lot of people crap on this movie. It starts off with that girl being dragged across the floor, and then you see him making his mask. Like, it definitely goes back to a dark tone from Texas 2. Like this, they went back to the more serious side of it. But I think that opening sets the tone for the entire movie. Just seeing him make his mask and whatnot. There's some brutal scenes. There's a few good kills, but depending on what cut you watch, like I watched the unrated, but there's an R version out there that's like cut even more than the unrated, which was originally, I think it was rated X originally.
Yeah, you're right.
But there's stuff they didn't even film though, right?
They lost a lot of stuff. They cut like a half hour of stuff, and then they didn't even save it. It was just gone.
Okay.
Like, so many things went wrong with this movie. With the studio rewriting, and then Jeff Burr getting fired and rehired. Like, there were just so many. This movie was. I'm surprised it came out as well as it did.
Yeah.
Watching the special features on the Blu-ray, like listening to everyone talk about the crap that went on is like, I understand it's a business, but I don't know. I think Leatherface is scary in this. I think he's aggressive. I think he's brutal. I like his mask, and he has one of the best, probably the best chainsaw I've ever seen. The chrome-plated saw like that. He should have been using it the whole movie. But,
oh, I love the Leatherface scene where he's got the speak and spell and he's typing in food or what, like, yeah, that's great.
Yeah, Alfredo, he's the best character. The story is what it is. I like it. I gave it a 7.
Yeah, Randy, what do you say?
Well, I got to go with you on the Viggo Mortensen thing and disagree a little bit that this is his best role, but I love him in this. I think his best role was playing the devil in the Prophecy movie, but at the very end. But him as the text, fantastic. I agree with Jason on a lot of points. He should have been using that chainsaw the whole movie. It's phenomenal. It's the coolest thing about this, I believe. Ken Voorhees, I love that guy in everything. He's amazing. So I loved all of his parts, especially when he comes up on the dude in the bog, right? And the dude's talking. He's throwing shit in, kisses the head, and he's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you people?" You know, it's like, what the hell's going on over here? I'm with you. Like, I love the other two so much that it was hard for me to be objective, really, because I kept going, this is so less a quality as the other two. It's almost on its own thing. But you're right, Jason, if you look at it from the perspective of it's being rebooted in that time period, it goes back to the original horrific, version and less funny stuff. You can judge it on its own merits. The little girl is creepy. The mom is creepy as fuck. Every time she popped up, I was like, God, ugh.
She's even a good character. So, like, that dinner scene.
Oh, yeah.
When it was just her doing this.
Yes, right.
Taping her up to that little girl, like, that's perfect.
Yeah, that was great. The building on the Sawyer family is really great, but they didn't use the Sawyer name, I don't believe. I think it was Savage or something like that. They used a different last name in the credit on IMDb, anyways.
Yeah, but overall it's its own thing, and watching it, knowing there's little nods to it, it's cool. It was really hard for me to track down. I'd like to get it on Blu-ray someday myself. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, Scott, do you have thoughts on this?
I'm with Randy. I think I'm probably a 7 out of 10. It would be a lot higher if they made it how they originally wanted to. I think they also wanted to do it in 16 millimeter, like the first one, but obviously, you have people making the decisions that aren't the ones filming it. So I think if it would have been originally done how they wanted to, I'd probably give it a 10. But they leaving stuff out, but like all the scenes they didn't film because of whatever. It had half the budget of 2. So they automatically didn't care about it, but it's not about the budget. It's about, putting an appropriate product out there. If they're not going to be funny and joking the whole time, then need to be brutal.
Yeah, you can definitely.
And the reveal, they should have left, like, they originally were going to have the Leatherface reveal, which, I always love.
Yeah. I think that you can definitely feel the New Line cinema on it. Like, it just feels completely different. But
I like it.
I like it too.
Yeah, I liked it.
So let's go to 1995. Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. A group of teenagers get into a car crash in the Texas woods on prom night and then wander into an old farmhouse that is home to Leatherface and his insane family of cannibalistic psychopaths, which I'll contest that they were cannibals in this. But directed by Kim Henkel and Toby Hooper. So this is the original team that made the first film, right?
No. What? No.
Yes.
Toby Hooper didn't direct this.
I don't think he did, guys. Yeah.
Kim Henkel directed this.
Oh.
Yeah. It's the only movie.
But Kim Henkel wrote the first movie with Toby Hooper.
Right, but Toby Hooper didn't have anything to do with this movie.
Oh, he has a writing credit, so I guess maybe it's just
the characters.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you have? What info do you have, Jason?
Tagline: The American legend returns to bring you to the cutting edge of terror. Distributed by Sony Pictures and on Blu-ray through Scream Factory in 2018.
Okay. there's a lot of questions I have about this movie. Who the fuck are the 30-year-old guys that are like hanging outside of the high school during prom night? I don't understand. They're like bitching about teenagers, and they're drinking in the parking lot during prom. It doesn't make sense. It's like if you
clearly you never went to Upper Side of Valley High School. So that was every prom for us. Was
the guy outside the school. He makes the comment that he hates teens or hates kids or something like that. But he looks bad. And then they show another clip of him later, and he's talking to him about, like, he's telling a story and cussing, like he wasn't a teacher and he's not a student, so
yeah, he's a graduated classman that's come back for the party, man.
It's fucking ridiculous. I never noticed it before, but Vilmer's truck says Illuminati wrecking. So there's a lot of cool scenes I like in this movie. Where the one where Renee Zellweger's in the trunk at the pizza place, or whenever the woman, whatever her name is, she finds that one teen girl in the street or the road, and she like goes and finds a little stick and like just hitting her just lightly. Please don't hit me. It was just, there's still humor in this, and this is McConaughey at his best, I think. The Vilmer is amazing. He kind of carries the movie for me a little bit. I don't like they're not cannibals though. They don't reference at all. They eat pizza in this. They don't eat anybody. They're just, I guess their goal was to give Leatherface a new face at the end of the day, or horrify them for some Illuminati reason, because there's that weird...
Yeah, to keep the town scared, right? That was their whole goal, right?
There's that weird guy that comes in at the end, and I don't know what he has going on his stomach. It's like carved art or something, on carved skin on, and he's got piercings.
Yeah, gold rings.
Yeah. I think that, overall Vilmer carries this movie. There's a lot of things I don't enjoy about this, especially how much Leatherface shrieks. He doesn't do that in any of the other movies, I don't believe. It's a little much.
There you go again. There you go again. Don't compare this.
I'm not comparing it. I like how Leatherface looks.
Not to, but go ahead.
I like how Leatherface looks a lot in this. There's different. Oh my god. But I don't like the weird dude at the end coming in. I don't need that shit. I do like the W.E. character with his constant quoting and stuff. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
And the inclusion of a female insane person, I really liked a lot too. But yeah, Vilmer's the reason this movie's good. I give it a 7 out of 10. What do you say, Jason?
Again, 90s slasher. And this is ignoring 2 and 3, so it's kind of a sequel to the first, because it tells the story in the beginning and kind of acknowledges 2 and 3. But yeah, Matthew McConaughey steals the show for sure. It could be a negative, I guess, to a Texas movie, but in my opinion, Chop Top stole the show in part 2, so I'm okay with it. Whatever. Leatherface takes a step back, but I still enjoy this character. But, yeah, he's a bitch, but I still like it. And it's funny. The guy Robert Jacks, so he was actually gay and pretty flamboyant, in his own life.
He passed away. I saw. He passed away not too long after the movie. I think.
I forget who said it. One of the actors said the first time they seen him, he came out of a trailer or whatever, dressed up in as Leatherface, and it was he said I'm gonna scare some bitches or something like that. I guess he was hitting on some of the younger actors and stuff. I know it's a little backstage info. Overall, I think it's good. I mean, and I'm not sure why McConaughey has such a big problem with this. Like I heard he either did sue or threatened to sue over this movie. Like, you know, using him to get the movie out there. You know what I mean? To cash in on his name. Same way with.
It's one of the only fucking things that
he's in it.
It's one of the only things he has done that I like.
Yeah, like I can understand if he didn't like the movie, but he's great in this. Like use this as look what I can do. Like brag it up. I think. I'm fine with everything. It's funny. It's crazy. It's insane. It's horrifying at points. And I love how Bill Murray just like at random times just beats up on his girlfriend or whatever she is. Like grab her by the head. Like she's not even talking or in on the scene. He just grabs her and rips her.
Yeah.
The director's cut of this is pointless. As far as I know, it's pointless. I watched the director's cut, and it's just all extra footage of them like walking down a road or running through the. It's like it was completely pointless. It was all in standard definition too. Like for whatever reason, they couldn't restore it. So I just want to say I recommend the theatrical cut. I like it all up until the Illuminati people or whatever. It seems like they came in out of nowhere, and it didn't help the movie whatsoever. Like that was a dumb move, I think. But there's enough good in the rest of the movie. I give it a 7.
Ray, what you say?
Well, yeah, I agree with you. These guys don't need an outside force directing them into what to do. You know what I mean? So, like, some guy shows up and he's like, I've been controlling them. I'm like, first off, they're insane people. You're not fucking controlling anything. You know what I mean? You don't need this rando guy I don't believe for a second that Matthew McConaughey's character would give a shit what that guy thought. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not for a second. So, yeah, that being said, and I watched the director's cut too, pointless as fuck. Just
I don't get it.
Yeah, no rhyme or reason, just longer walks. Took forever for it to get back to the action.
Like everything that was cut, I thought should have been cut.
Exactly.
Unless I'm doing something.
But I really liked. I'm with Frank. I liked that they threw a woman that was as crazy as everybody else in this too, like their age. You know, she was pretty terrifying in some parts. How she could turn real quick. And then overall, man, like I know that Frank and I talked about this the other day. I know that people have a problem with this version of Leatherface, but I thought he was great. I laughed through the whole. I hadn't seen it in a long time.
I think he is too.
And I laughed, every time he would cue because he'd go. You know, like
at the dinner scene when someone starts screaming and then he joins in.
Right, yeah. It made me laugh.
Smacked his hand.
Yes. But there was some stuff in this too that I thought was really cool. The leg prop, with the mechanical leg, that was a neat ad. I thought it was pointless as hell, but really cool. Like a neat, like focal point,
Well, whenever he uses it to crush that one girl's head,
right?
Fucking crazy, and that's one of the scenes that Matthew McConaughey could put on like a clip reel and be like, "Look, I can do this insane."
Right? Watch this level. One of my big problems with this though, guys, was the chasing her out the window, a la the first movie scene, right? And it went on for fucking ever. Especially this director's cut. I don't know if maybe it was quicker for you guys, but it was like a 10-minute scene, and I'm like, how long can you climb on this roof? Like
why did she go up? Why would you ever go up on a fucking antenna? Ever?
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
But overall, man, I enjoyed the hell out of it. I liked was his W.E. the guy quoting little rhymes and poetry and stuff. It was pretty cool. Renée Zellweger did a great job as the screamer. She screamed through the whole thing. And Matthew McConaughey is the showcase of this thing. I give it a 7 as well. It is not as good as it could have been, but it is way better than it has any right to be. So.
And something else. Part 3 and Next Gen, we got these both in the 90s.
Right.
And people want to rip on the 90s that there's no good movies that came out. Like here's 2 of them right here, I think.
Yeah.
That's true. Scott, what do you say? What do you give this?
I think they did the most with the least in this movie. They had the least amount to work with, and I'm with you. I think it's Matthew McConaughey's best work. All right. I'm pretty sure he says "all right" in that movie at some point. He does. I think that they, out of the between 2, 3, and 4, I think that's probably my favorite. So I'd have to be more of an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
You like this one better than 2? Huh?
Yeah, it's just taste. I watched them all as an adult, so I don't have any nostalgia connected to it.
I can see that though. I can respect that. So that's this episode. I guess we're going to try to do the next 4. What's the next 4, Jason?
It's the remake, and then there's 3 new ones after that. The Beginning, 3D, and something else.
Okay, we'll figure it out.
Pretty sure I've only seen 2 of those.
Yeah, I know I've seen 2 of them too. Everybody talks about 3D. I don't even know when that one came out. I, to this day, have never heard of it.
Leatherface, the remake or whatever, is the new Leatherface is the other.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, I know one of
the Beginning, 3D, and Leatherface.
I know that the remake I walked out of at the theater.
Wow.
Yeah, I did. I was so pumped up for it, and I was so disappointed by it. And then I walked out. I don't know.
Well, look how
I gave it a chance later, and I like it now. I like it.
Yeah, I understand that, because when I went, the same thing happened to me with the Friday the 13th remake. I didn't like it when I first watched it in the theater.
Yeah.
But now, I love it now. So
I think I was like so pumped up because I was like, look at what we got here. They had the ingredients I wanted. I thought that, what's his name? Who's the dude that plays, who's the dude in that?
Arlie Ermy?
Yeah. I was like, he would be a perfect like Drayton Sawyer kind of character. And he didn't really do it how I wanted. And I was kind of irritated that who's the one girl in it? Jessica Biel.
Yeah.
I was like, who's this Seventh Heaven motherfucker? I don't know. I was a grumpy teenager, and then later on I watched it, and I was like, all right, this is good. I mean,
Arlie Ermey's good.
But one of the other movies, like the prequel or whatever, the beginning or whatever it is, it starts off and you just see a guy get murdered with a sledgehammer, and I think
I haven't seen it.
one of them, and I turned it off. I turned it off because I was like, I don't want to see that shit. If I wanted to see that shit, I could go to like some dark website and find some dude getting murdered, because it looked like murder. It was like very much not wanting to see that. But so we'll give it a shot. We'll see what happens. But anyways, thanks for doing this, guys. Stay safe.
Right.
All right.
I'm a little drunk.
Yeah. Good job, Randy.
Thank you.
Did it.
Hey guys, thanks for coming.
Yeah,
bye. Thanks for inviting me. I had fun.
I'm gonna end
Scott,
this.
good seeing you.
See you, bro.
See you, man.
See you, Ray.
Bye, guys.